Welcome to Tash Talks Soul. Hello, welcome again to the Divination Series, part 2. In this one, I want to talk about pendulums. So in the last episode, I talked about oracle cards. Now I want to talk about pendulum, and then in future episodes, I'll talk about tarot, because those ones I'll probably talk about for hours because there's just so much. So pendulum is basically anything that hangs on a chain or a string, any sort of weight, and you use it for divination. So there's some people have very strict rules about this. I personally do not. It's whatever works. It's a fun little game to play, but I personally have found as a divination tool, it's not as accurate as tarot cards. Some people say the only reason it works is because it's an extension of your subconscious mind. So it's not actually external guidance. It's just whatever you deeply feel to be true. But, have a play with it and see what you think. The way that I was taught to do pendulum was to get, this was taught by gypsies in Ukraine. This is how it was done, and this is how I was taught. This is not what I do currently, however, but the way I was taught was to get a silver chain, to get a little bolt, like a little metal bolt, and actually, hang on. I just had to go and Google it. English is not my first language, so I'm sorry, I don't know words sometimes. Not a bolt, a nut. So a metal nut, and you thread your silver chain through the nut, so it forms like a pendant, and you get a glass of water, fill it up halfway with water, and then place the nut on the chain into the glass of water, but not touching the water. So between the water and the rim of the glass, and you hold it very still. If you need to, rest your elbow on a table or on your knee or something so that your arm doesn't shake, and hold it very still. Then some people advise putting some protections in place because you just don't know what you're accessing. So it's like a Ouija board. Some people liken it to that. I personally don't think it's quite that full on, but put some protections in place, say, God, universe, angels, my spirit guides, I ask you for guidance, surrounding myself with love, protecting from any entities that do not have my highest good at heart. I reach out to, my angels or my guides, please help me, whatever words you want to put around it. And you can start off with show me a yes and show me a no, and it will start to swing. So it will either swing from side to side in whichever direction, or it will swing around in a circle. And usually yes will look one way and no will look another way. Once you establish what your yes looks like and your no looks like, you can start asking questions. You can start asking simple questions like, is my name Natasha? Am I, female? Am I in Australia? Whatever it may be for you, that's a very clear, question and answer that applies to you. And then you can start diving into some of the deeper questions that you would like guidance on. You can ask whatever you want. You can go for as long as you want. Go nuts, pun intended. Now, that's not the only way to do it. So I do it sometimes. I'll take my necklace off and just the pendant that's on my necklace, I use as a pendulum, and I do the same thing, and I don't use the glass of water. I've done this with my friend before. We used a glass of wine, which was a random impromptu reading that we did. You can use a crystal on a chain or a crystal pendant on a string. It's whatever speaks to you. Whatever you can buy dedicated pendulums online, but it doesn't have to be that in order to work. I've always been a proponent of, the tool is not the be all and end all. Your energy, your connection, your intuition, your spirituality, that is the driving force behind all of this. It's not the tool. The tool can help, but don't get so caught up on having the perfect tool, the perfect cards, or the perfect pendulum, or the perfect candle, or the perfect whatever it is that you are working with in order to achieve an outcome. I don't get too caught up in that. I do believe all things carry a vibration, and certain vibrations attract certain outcomes. So if you want to boost your own energy and amplify it, you can surround your practice with things of a vibration that support that and amplify what you're trying to achieve. But I personally don't get too caught up on the tool. So whatever item you might have lying around, it's up to you what speaks to you and what you feel works. So it's a lot of fun to do, but I have found that the accuracy of this is not always on point. You might sit and have a play, have a reading one night, and then the next night you do it and you get a different answer. So I personally, like, sometimes it's spot on, but not always. Not as spot on as what my tarot cards have been. So I know for myself with my gypsy blood, tarot cards have been like, wow, for me. Pendulum less so, but nonetheless, it is still a divination tool that you might have a lot of fun playing with. And it is a lot of fun to play with. It's a fun little party trick where you might be with a friend and you think, hey, let's do pendulum. And then you have a bit of fun with it. And it's as long as you put, your protections in place and you don't put too much stock into what it says, because at the end of the day, divination, it's like it's reading the current energy of the situation or the energy that you're putting out. And we are living not in a static world, it's a fluid world. Things are always changing, moving, evolving, and something that was true a week ago might have shifted and might not be true now. And ultimately, don't put too much stock into what divination tools tell you, because ultimately you are the best barometer. You're the best guide for yourself. Your own intuition, your own heart knows better. Pretty sure they've done studies on this. Your heart actually responds to stimulus a split second, like a small amount faster than your brain does. So it's not your brain informing your heart. It's whether your heart has its own perception and so does your brain, or your heart informs your brain. They're not sure yet. But when they've hooked people up to machines to monitor this, hearts respond faster than brains. So listen to your heart. Listen to your brain, listen to your gut, listen to yourself. You are the ultimate authority on your life and what's right and wrong for you. If a pendulum or some cards tell you something and you think that does not feel right for me, it might be your ego saying, no, that's just not the answer I want to hear, therefore they're wrong. But if you genuinely feel like this situation is going to evolve and turn into something different, follow your own intuition. These things are fun to do, but don't go against your own gut and your own intuition based on a reading that you've received, unless it genuinely feels aligned with where you are and where you're going. So have fun playing with a pendulum. Be careful, protect yourself, but at the end of the day, it's just all about connecting deeper with yourself and having new life experiences. So enjoy. I'll be back for a part 3 and possibly more parts as well with the tarot cards. Have a great day. Bye.